Gosh, I haven't done a video in so long. I'm really being put out of my comfort zone. I want to talk about cycles and patterns. So I want to talk about a message that's been coming through to me over the last few days. I had a dream and there was like lots of energy cycles in the dream, and I was letting things go and it was slipping away from my arm. And then I woke up in the morning and I kept like seeing swirly energetic cycle patterns. And then I sort of logged on to maybe Instagram, TikTok, I can't remember. And then there was a video of someone talking about patterns and cutting cords and cycles. And I was like, okay. So I done some cards, pulled out a card, and it was the attachment card. And that was all about attaching to certain emotional patterns or relationships or something like that, and letting that go. And I was like, right, okay, so I know that this is a definite message. I always tune into the energy with the day that we have a sound bath, because we always have a theme when we do our sound bath. And we like to sort of tune in and see what the theme is of that evening. And so I knew that yesterday evening's sound bath was going to be down to releasing cycles and patterns. And it sort of got me into a space now where I feel like I want to share the message. Like I say, I'm completely out my comfort zone doing a video because I haven't done one for so long, but I do present myself a lot better when I'm talking than when I'm writing. But what I want you to think about is there's one thing that you want to think about, right? What pattern are you holding on to? So it could be anything, right? It could be something that's just going round and round, just looping and looping, and it's looping and looping and continuing because you haven't resolved the situation. So what is it? So for me, I'll give you a little idea of what it is for me. I'm going to be totally honest and vulnerable. My cycle, my patterning is self-worth. So I've got Gene Key 48 quite a few times in my profile, which is in Shadow of Inadequacy. And how you get through that is by using your wisdom, right? When you've got that self-worth, your wisdom can come through. So, but I also have a stellium in my second house, so I've got a lot going on with self-worth, and that's my thing. So that is my patterning that keeps going round in circles, that keeps bringing me back to the same thing over and over again. So what I feel like we need to focus on over the coming weeks now, I speak to a lot of people. I'm in two different types of jobs. So I'm in my spiritual job and I'm also in my swim job. And so I talk to lots of people that are, maybe into the same things. Well, look, we're all spiritual beings. So I don't want to say spiritual people because we're all spiritual beings, but there'll be people that are into that kind of thing and people that are not into that thing, but they are all feeling a similar energy. And that energy is that lull, that stuckness. A lot of people are feeling nausea, which is kind of telling me that there's a lot of anger being released, or a lot of being like, and I feel like that's a pattern in itself, that anger that we're holding on to, but we don't know where it's coming from, and it's sort of presenting itself. Or maybe we're just angry with our own crap, like we're angry with our own bullshit. And I've been there, and the other day I was like, oh my God, I'm so annoyed with my own crap. And that's a pattern, right? It's a pattern. And when you get like that, when you're annoyed and you get like that, it is showing you that it's a pattern that needs to be released. So your job this week, if you want to tune in or you want to work on trying to release something, is think of one thing, no more than one thing that keeps recycling back to you. And it could be anything from relationship, like the way relationship dynamics are, a job, the way you are at work, the way you might be with friends, or it could be a fault pattern, it could be a reaction, it could be a trauma, it could be an emotional response. It could be anything, but it's something that keeps recycling back to you and is keeping you stuck. And so it's time to sit with it, right? Sit with what that is. Like if you want your Gene Key profile done, or if you want anything like that, please shout me up, or just sit with it. Just sit with what you're doing and think about what is the one thing that is getting in my way, and be totally honest with yourself and work on releasing that this week. Work at releasing what is keeping you stuck, what keeps recycling back into your life, and really try and work with that shadow aspect. And just because it's a shadow, it doesn't mean it's bad. It's teaching us something, right? So work with that, work with trying to release it. And yeah, because I feel like this is a really important thing to be doing this week. Like, this might not resonate for you, and that's fine. But for me, it's coming up quite strongly. I'm seeing it in my clients, my friends, family, the people that I work with. It's a theme of where we're just recycling ourselves back into the same situation. And because now the sun's in Leo, because I follow true sidereal astrology, I don't follow tropical. And I'm sorry that if that offends you, but that's just the way it is. I do not follow tropical astrology. I follow where the stars and the planets are when we look up at the sky. And the sun is now in Leo. And that is a different type of energy. That's a different type of transformation, right? This is a space where you can really like push yourself out into your power, and be your best self. And how can we do that? Start chipping away at what you don't want to see in your life anymore. And I don't want to say healing, because if we say healing, then we're not actually perfect. We're not perfected as we are. We're not whole. And of course we're whole. So it's absolutely not, we're not healing, really. We are piecing the puzzles back to the self. When our soul fragments through trauma and programming, we're bringing a piece back at a time. So let's start this week with one thing that's keeping you low, keeping you down, holding you back, whatever that may be, and work with it, journal with it, write it out, burn it, bring it into your awareness. The most important thing is to bring it into your awareness. When you've brought it into your awareness, you can start to accept it, and then you can release it, and it's a lot easier. So yeah, that's my message. Let's cut the crap. Let's get rid of that recycling one thing, and let's put it to bed and transform. Have a great week. Tap me up if you want any charts, or you want to reach out, or even just discuss what your thing is. I'm always up for communicating. I'm not always on social media, but I will get back to you when I can.